Mr. Chairman, I think that we all know this is something that's not been precedented, and we've never experienced it before. It's one of the most trying periods in our nation's history, and we mourn the loss of over 500,000 Americans. We're thinking of the thousands of Americans who are infected every day, and for those who still suffer from the disease's long-term effects. And speaking of long-term effects, we are devastated by the continued closure of schools and shutdowns of businesses. The pandemic created unprecedented challenges for federal, state, and local governments. The Defense Department played a vital role in the pandemic response from the beginning, starting by assisting HHS in housing in Americans who had been evacuated from China. In the months that followed, over 47,000 guardsmen, including hundreds from my state of Oklahoma, mobilized to staff testing centers and deliver food and provided medical support. The Army Corps of Engineers constructed 38 new alternative care facilities around the country, adding over 17,000 hospital beds to handle the surge of patients. DoD partnered with HHS in Operation Warp Speed, promising to deliver a safe and effective vaccine by 2021, and they did. Many doubted that the vaccine could be discovered so quickly. For example, when the previous administration announced the plans of having the vaccine by the end of the year, an NBC News fact check said he would need a miracle to be right. And we're talking about the Trump administration. He'd need a miracle to be right. But by the end of 2020, the Trump administration's effort paid off, and we had the miracle. Simple as that. And I don't know why people aren't talking about that right now. We had 2 safe and extremely effective vaccines that were discovered, and we got another one that's coming on. It's my understanding this weekend. As the National Institutes of Health director, Francis Collins, who was an Obama appointee, recently remarked, Operation Warp Speed, quote, was an effort that many of us were not initially convinced was going to be necessary. The Trump administration's success in the record time, in his words, and this is Francis Collins making this statement, he said it was just breathtaking. So thanks to you, General Perna, and your team. You know, I've watched this happen. When you first announced, it was back in the summertime, and we had a hearing right after that. You said warp speed. I never did understand where warp speed came from, but it wasn't my idea. It wasn't Jack's idea. But anyway, it was a success, a huge success. Especially remarkable is how the Operation Warp Speed has revolutionized our previous way of doing things. Under your leadership, General Perna, and I believe it was your leadership, we're seeing vaccines move from the conveyor belt to the supplier to the American families in just days. This has never happened before. I'm heartened by this program that there is certainly more work to be done. We understand that. But I hope we will learn in this hearing about DOD's efforts to accelerate vaccine production and administration. I want to conclude by thanking our 3 witnesses, each of whom oversees a vital part of the response effort, and the thousands of men and women in uniform who have served admirably during this incredibly difficult period. Let me just add one thing, what probably is not really germane to this, but we had a hearing yesterday, and I heard from, it was classified, but I'm not at all satisfied that we need to have all of these resources out there now. We have all these individuals that are here, the Guard. This is not their job. This is not what they're trained for. This is not what they're capable of doing. And all the barbed wire is, I think it's seen this day, and so let me just voice that as an opinion that you may agree or disagree with. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Senator Inhofe.